Okay, so we created a master material that will be used more or less in the whole project, but we didn't create yet a translucent material. And this is what we're going to do now. First of all, we know our limitations with real time and using Lumen. We know that before with ray tracing, translucency, ray tracing, reflections, the glasses and the mirrors used to work. But now it's a bit different. Inside of this limitation, we will create a material that will do its job. It will look okay to good, but it won't look perfect. I need to be sincere. If you're looking for a perfect material for glass and mirror, then you need to use path tracing if you are creating images or animation. But with real-time rendering, these materials won't look perfect. But of course, there are ways of trying to surpass this. So let's start with the glass material. On the master material, I created a folder glass, and we're going to create, so m glass, or better m master glass 001. Before I start with the material, there are the substrate materials that you can come to edit, project settings, and search for substrate. And you'll find substrate materials, it's experimental. Glass material with substrate looks very good. If you're interested in the result, you can download the sample called Hillside, and all the materials there are done with substrate, and the glass in this project is very good. I still don't know much about substrate, I didn't study it enough. I don't use them in my projects yet. So let's create what we can here, and it won't be that bad as well. So first things first, we need to change some settings here. So blend mode, of course, is translucent. Then the shading model will be thin translucent. When we add the thin translucent, we get two errors. And just a heads up, a tip, the majority of the errors in Unreal are self-explanatory, and you can just read them here. With a bit of thinking, you can solve them. I see people going crazy trying to solve errors that are just there. And if you don't know how to solve something, just copy this into Google. You are not the first one having the error, so there will be a solution, okay? First, solve these two errors. So the last one here, the second one, says that we need a thin translucent material output, which is very easy to find. So just right click, thin, and you'll find the output. There you go, it disappeared already. And now the other thing that we need is just click somewhere else. Just if you get overwhelmed by the amount of information here, just go here, let's say translucency. So translucency, then it's saying that the lighting mode needs to be forward shading. So we just search for lighting mode, forward shading. Done. We don't have the errors anymore. So now let's build the material. To do a fast thing here, we can, for example, come to the master material, which will open here, and let's copy this into here. Now instead of being dirt, it will be BC, for example, or control. Okay, so we start from up. First of all, thin translucent material output, we just need a color here. It even says here translucency color, so hold and press T, convert to parameter, and we'll put here transmission color. If you can hear some sort of a, I don't know, a weird noise like it's my wife blowing her nose. She's being sick. So after that, we're going to have a texture here. So just hold T and press convert to parameter into BT texture. We only have one, and the color is also easy to do. So 3, convert to a parameter, color, and we will leave as black for now. And this one actually can be white. Okay, now we're going to connect to the UV here. We're going to grab a lerp and SS will be roughness max. This one will be roughness min. And from these two values, leave it in 0 for now, we're going to connect max to A, min to B, and the R, the red channel, on the alpha. This we can connect to roughness. We need just a texture there. Then we will have specular as well, that we can leave as 0.5, and the metallic can be 0 for now. So this, then we still need a opacity, so this is also very easy, it's just a right click there. For now we will leave in 0, or better, let's leave it in a half, and later we control this. And now we need to add as well a refraction, right? So, but it's it shows here that it's disabled. So for us to find the refraction, just come here, refraction, then there will be refraction mode. We're going to click and put as index of refraction, which is the IOR, right, that we see every time. So now the refraction is here, just right click, promote. You can rename this easier, and we know that 1.52 is the right amount, but we also know that it won't work. So just leave it as it is right now, and we're going to use a proper value later. For the texture, you can come to Quixel Bridge, and you have many imperfections. I like to use the stains. I already downloaded this one, so let's grab it here. Should be stain, and here. For sure, your material, the texture, I mean, will come as a virtual texture. So just right click and convert to, I think it's regular texture that it says. Then you're good to go. Let's just add our texture here, and we're good, because this is the one we created now. So mi glass windows 001, for example. Let's grab all the glass sheets that we have here and we use. Okay, we see that somehow it works, but we see that the refraction already is very bad. So that's what I said about not using the proper amount in refraction. So IOR, if you put 1, it means 0, so it doesn't refract at all, and sometimes this is the solution. I like sometimes to add, for example, a bit, you know, until like 0.5 works. If it doesn't bug as much when you're going far and so on. Here it already starts to be kind of buggy, so maybe this. Let's see how it is without. Okay, it gives a detail there. Maybe even less. Let's test. I like to give a little amount for it. Let's keep going because it's 0.5 opaque. So if we put 1, we don't see, turns into a bad mirror. And if we put 0, it's too much, right? I don't know the physical property of a glass, but I don't believe it's 0. Since we're talking about how to pronounce this now, physically based materials. Since we're talking about this, I already have the documentation here. I'm going to link this website somewhere under the video there. You can come, you can read, because this is very important, okay? The Documentation from Epic, I know sometimes it's overwhelming, sometimes it's a lot of text and each place you read takes you somewhere else. Here explains the meaning of physical based material, physically based material, and since we are using the physically based lighting, why not use the materials as well, right? One thing that I can tell you already that it's very interesting is this about the color. Sometimes I see artists creating a scene, interior or exterior, and you see that the blacks are very black and they don't look real. The same as the white, and here is an explanation why. The charcoal, which is the blackest thing we can have at home, its base color intensity is 0.2. And I see people that use 0 as base color for mundane black materials at home. If you could grab any black material that you have at home, for example, I don't know, maybe your mouse or your cell phone, grab also a piece of charcoal and go outside, you'll see the difference for sure, or put it under some lamp and you'll see the difference. So never use 0, okay? Do not use even 0.02 because this would be a charcoal. And fresh snow is the whitest thing we can have, so its base color is 0.81. And again, this is the same mistake artists make their white materials with 1. It doesn't work, okay? And here's the reason why. You also have some colors about some materials here, which is very interesting. It talks about the roughness. There's a bunch of stuff here that can be used. Very interesting link. Please take your time and read here. It doesn't take much time and this will add a lot for your knowledge. So coming back here, the opacity, we know that 0.5 doesn't work, so just find a sweet spot there that you like, okay? I'll leave as it is right now. And here, the metallic, for example, it takes the reflection. So if you don't want as reflective, you can. I just wanted to add a little side note about the glass, because as I was editing the video, you see that it is a glass material and I started to add the metallic, and we know that it's not a metallic material, right? So there is some sort of an explanation here that you can read. It kinda goes against of what I'm teaching in the video, because I'm talking about the physically based materials and so on, and suddenly I'm adding metallic to the glass material. So as a side note, we know glass is not a material. As a side note, we know that glass is not a metal material, but there are some scientists that don't use the non-metal material to this. But as you see, even so glass is not a metal, the scientists do not use the term non-metal to describe a glass. It's a tricky material inside of our limitations while creating materials in Unreal. Unfortunately, we need to go this way of going against our idea of physically based materials. Add a bit more. The specular will kinda work the same, so find a good spot there. When I say a good spot, is that there's no rule, so it depends on your lighting, it depends on how bright it is inside and everything, so it's about you. And then here, for example, we have our roughness, and this is a texture, right? So we have the tiling here. Let's make this texture bigger, and let's see if we can see it. Here you can see on the glass now. Of course, this detail is very hard to see, but you can see right on the center here there is this effect of the roughness. You can see right now. So I like this. I like to add this sort of detail. Sometimes the like if it would have rained and the glass is just dirty. It's good to add this sort of detail. I'm sure that, for example, lead artists and art directors, they'll for sure see this sort of effect. Okay, so if you add this and you think, ah, no one will see, now you know that it is there, so it's already enough. Of course, the one I'm using now here is not the best example. I just wanted to show how to use this, and then find a good texture there. There are plenty of. Work with the roughness here and it will give you some cool effects. It works, right? Once you start to add the materials, the reflection will be much better. Just if you're wondering, can you see that I'm trying to select the glass? The glass is here, right? We can see it. And I'm trying to select it, but it just simply doesn't go. If you cannot select translucent meshes with translucent materials, just press T for translucent, and then you'll be able to. So press T, okay? And now we're going to talk about the mirror. It will need us to work with the light channels. So let's create the material now, 001. And this one is super simple, so we need a metallic, a specular, and a roughness. And we need the color. Like this for now. And this is it. We're going to work it later. Now that we have our mirror master, we can just material 01 throw there. For now it's very bad, right? Here as well it will depend on the lighting and everything, but you get the idea once I start to work with the lighting as well. So I'm going to add like 7 on the metallic. The roughness can be 0.01 just because I don't even know if it makes a difference, but it makes a difference in my head. Specular will be 0. Okay, so we lost the material for now. And then the color 35. This. We will change very little in the material right now. So now comes the trick. Okay, I want you to pay a lot of attention now. First of all, let's talk about the problems first. We have this problem here, which is caused by the light outside. You see? So there is some sort of, besides the mirror being ugly, there is some sort of a weird effect there. You see this effect if I'm going to multiply this or duplicate this here. This is how it is now, okay? In the other light there. So you see that we have some sort of a shadow that doesn't exist here, but it exists on the mirror. It's the mirror of truth. Okay, so how do we fix this? First, you need to select the light and search for reflection. It's easier. If you search for a reflection, you have effect, ray tracing, reflections. If you untick this, you already have that problem off. Will it change the reflection on your materials? Yes, it will. So that's why it's good to use mirror the least possible. Okay? If you are contacted by a client and the client wants you to create a mirror shop, be sure that you have trouble, okay? Use mirror as least as possible. And before anything, just tell your client. Really explain what's going on, explain the limitation. They need to be aware. In this case, I don't need to hide affect ray tracing reflections because I don't have a mirror here. My mirror is here, so the problem is here. So we're going to do this. Reflection. Wow, we already don't have that problem. Now, we're going to select the mirror. We're going to come to channel. Whoa, channel. And basically it's this, right? Normally. It doesn't even make a difference. So what I like to do is I like to select one, leave the one on, then I'll grab the same light that it's after or outside, after the window, it's outside of the building. I bring it inside. I change its channel to 1, so it will affect the ones with channel 1. Be sure that the reflection is off in the outside, and be sure that the reflection, ray tracing reflection, is on the inside one. This is without and this is with. We already basically covered the issue, right? So again, I'm going to delete. This one, affect ray tracing reflection off. The one inside, affect ray tracing on, and channel only one. You see, it doesn't even make a difference, but I like to leave it as one. I don't like to leave without channel. So one. Then it won't light anything, but it will affect the mirror. Then, since this one is 10,000, the outside is 10,000, you can put maybe a bit more. And take a look, the mirror is already decent, right? If you hide this one, if you put reflections in this one, this is the result we had. Doesn't look good. So this, and we already have a, I'm not going to say good, but a decent material. Same for this one. We're going to grab the same mirror material, add here. It looks weird, this and that. This we can hide for now. Then here, same thing. Grab the light outside, take a reflection, bring it inside, channel, put 1, here add 1, and then intensity 1000, 10,000, so let's put 12, and then reflection on. Can you see our problem here? The problem is that we have this door that it's causing the problem. It's causing the issue. So duplicating the light just here still gives us the same problem. So then what I do is leave it with the ray tracing shadow, ray tracing reflection. Put in front of the mirror. This is the front, right? So we want with its back. Can you see on the reflection of the sink? It's more or less what we'll have now. Does it still give the error there? Yes, it does, but we are not going to come so much inside, okay? We are trying for like small solutions for big problems. And just for you to understand how the Lumen reflection works, I'm going to go backwards and I'm going to go inside of the wall. Can you see? It's showing basically that part. And it's not even showing the sky. But anyway, we go to, okay, we are in the lighting thingy. Then I just like to grab those two, for example this first, and rename them. So rect light, mirror, bedroom 001, and this one will be bathroom 001. Okay, so we cover somehow the quality of the mirror with some sort of a trick, and it works. It's not perfect, no, it's not perfect, but it's much better than it is normally. Can you see that there is the error here? There's a very harsh shadow, but then if I take the reflection from this, then it looks like before. So we need to choose the lesser, let's say lesser evil, like Geralt of Rivia. There you go. This is the translucent materials, the glass and the mirror. Plus, don't forget about the physically based materials, which are very important.